I am the acting director of CCIT, and I am supposed to be in 3 places at once, but I really wanted to take a moment and just say welcome to Delaware Tech. Hopefully you're not so new that you missed our showcase last week and that you were able to go and just get immersed into all the great things that we're doing. I just want you to know you're in great hands with Molly, and for those of you who've worked with Kim and all of our CCIT staff, we are here to help you. And I know that we've been going through some growing pains. We've had some people recently leave, so there's going to be some turnover in CCIT, but we are here to help support you in all that you do. I hope you have a great semester, and just thank you.
Thanks, Sarah.
All right, see you guys.
See ya. Okay, and just out of respect for your time, because I've given them an additional 5 minutes, I'm just going to go ahead and get started, and then I can catch them up whenever they join. So welcome. At Owens, we always invite the mentors to come. So some of your mentors are sitting in the room, and it's just a nice chance for them to kind of hear exactly what we're telling you in terms of what your requirements are for NFD. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, the folks that are up north, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen so you won't see the room anymore. If for some reason you need to ask a question or whatever, just go ahead and you can put something in the chat or just start waving your arms, because my people that are in the classroom will probably see you, so just go ahead and give us a pause. So new faculty at Delaware Tech are required to go through the new faculty development program. It's designed to be a 2-year program. It doesn't have to take 2 years, so if you want to have it be shorter than that, you can certainly work harder and get it finished. But we certainly don't want you stressed that it has to be done in shorter than 2 years. And really what it's designed to do is help acclimate you to Delaware Tech, and also help those who may not have training in teaching to get some training in teaching, and get you more training in teaching online and in our D2L system. So you have some requirements you have to do. That's what I'm going to go over with you today. Typically in the past, we've kind of always had these meetings like end of September. So I hate to kind of throw this meeting in these 2 weeks, which is crazy as it is. But IDT G10, which is one of the courses that new faculty take, is not offered in a 7-week format. It's actually offered now in an 11-week format. So what that would mean is I would be meeting with you, and you would have like no time to sign up for that course if it works for your schedule this semester. And sometimes when faculty are hired their first semester, if you have different loads each semester to get to that 18, sometimes your fall semester is a little bit lighter than what your spring semester is. And so we always want to make sure people have the opportunity, should they want to take classes in the fall, to be able to do that. So when you go to the CCIT webpage, which is CCIT, I'm going to just go back to the very beginning page again so you can see it. ccit.dtcc.edu. And there is tons of resources there, really for things beyond just new faculty. But a lot of times if you have questions, we pretty much keep everything there. So reporting grades, things like that, you can also find them on our page. But if you come down to new faculty development, that's really where it outlines what you need to do as a new faculty member. So what I'm going to do is jump right down to this little visual, because it really breaks it down in terms of what you need to accomplish. So the first phase is your planning phase, and that's when you set some goals for yourself for the course of the next 2 years. I would like this phase turned into me no later than October 30th. So folks that are up at the George campus, oh awesome, Stanton's coming in. Yay, hey guys. We literally just started. We're just on the web page. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, yeah. We got it.
Fabulous.
Sorry.
So I would like your planning phase. What I was just telling the folks at Wilmington and down here is that there's a planning phase, and that's going to be due to me October 30th. Right now, I'm the person that's the point of contact, I think, for everybody. So send them to me, and if I need help getting through them, I'll divvy them up with Kim. I just think it makes more sense when we're not physically on the other campuses to just have one person rather than trying to figure out who somebody's received things from. So this planning phase, the first step of the planning phase is to complete this self-evaluation worksheet. Do not turn this into me. I never need to see this. This is strictly for you, and it will help you determine what your goals are going to be for the next 2 years. So we ask you questions about professional development and instructional effectiveness, course design, lesson planning, things that we think you need to be really good at to be successful as in higher ed. And you're rating yourself. And the things that you rate yourself low on are fine. That's what you're going to develop your goals for. So again, I never need to see that. This is strictly just a tool to help you to plan your goals a little bit. Once you've done that, then you're going to come over and actually complete the customized PD plan. So you fill this out. You can see that you need to fill in your mentor information. The mentors come from the dean's office. They do not come from our office. So we get a lot of questions sometimes like, how did I get picked? Those are questions for the dean's office. But you fill in that information there. And then I need you to fill in information with when you intend to meet with your mentor. We find that if you actually set firm dates, that then it happens. And so mentees, I think the most important thing to realize is that the mentor-mentee relationship is actually up to you. It's not up to the mentors. The mentors, you're kind of off the hook. Like, we don't want you to feel like you're having to track down your mentees all the time. Mentees, you really should be reaching out to the mentors, figuring out a time that you can meet, and making that work. Now, mentors, certainly we want you to be popping in, but really that initial kind of meeting and establishing that relationship really is in the hands of the mentee. Kim, question?
That's right. Did you already introduce a mentor mentee?
No, we haven't. And since that only the mentors are here at this campus, I was going to wait till the end because the other campuses.
I'll make sure.
Yeah. So then the next step is to complete your self-evaluation goal-setting worksheet. You're going to list your strengths and you're going to list your opportunities for improvement. You don't need 5. So some people, when they turn these in, they've got 3 really good ones, and like number 4 and number 5 are really weak, and I'm like, what is this? And they're like, well, there were 5 spaces. I needed 5 things. No, I would say you need a good solid 3 things, but don't stretch it if you're done at 3. But you can certainly have 5. Your opportunities for improvement, and then from these opportunities for improvement, that's where you're going to set your goals. And again, it says set 3 to 5 goals. There's 5 spots, but you don't need 5 goals. And you want to use this example goal when you go to actually create your goal down here. So for each goal, you need an action plan to go with it as to how you're going to improve and reach that goal that you have there. Does that make sense? And then you come down and you can see that there's an introduction to instruction checklist. So this is a little different than how we've done things in the past. So we used to have NFD 101, and it was a class that met on campus on Fridays, and that's when we got a lot of this done. With the way scheduling goes now, to even have faculty available on Fridays for a lot of departments is just not an option anymore. So some of these things we've pushed out for you just to kind of do on your own. So the information session obviously is today. If you're a spring hire, we try and do them again in January. I want you to complete that customized professional development plan. You're getting that in September. It's due to me October 30th. And then I want you to tour the campus with your department chair or your mentor. So whatever campus you're at, get out now while it's still nice, maybe next week when it cools off a little bit, and really get to know the campus. During the fall semester, you have 3 things that you're supposed to do. You'll attend a college-wide training that is a half-day training that's with student affairs, academic affairs, and CCIT. That has not been scheduled yet. It typically is the end of September, middle October, but those dates we're still waiting on. So sometimes it's a little bit of short notice for those. We try and give you as much notice as possible, but sometimes it can be as short as 3 weeks. And those, your attendance is expected. So If you have something else going on, you really need to go to your department chair and explain that this is a mandatory college-wide meeting for new faculty, and they'll work with you to ensure that you can be there. You'll also attend a campus-based training on academic advising for new faculty. That's always held in October. That, again, is not even run through us. That's run through, there's always an advising update, and there's always a session for new faculty. So we want to make sure you go to that. And then one campus-based colloquia. They are now held in December. We do them once classes are out. So you really won't meet with me again until classes are over. And that's just a touch point. We go over, okay, the goals that you turned into me October 30th, do they still make sense? Do we need to change them? Do we need to modify them? Whatever we need to do, we can do at that time. So those goals are fluid, and that's what we'll do in December. In the spring, you again have another college-wide training. That's with organizational structure, accreditation, planning, and assessment. That's typically in March. But again, sometimes because of schedules of OOP, it doesn't happen in March. So one time it was scheduled for early March and it was snowed out. So then we started scheduling it middle to late March, and this past year it had to be postponed until May. So again, just kind of being flexible with those college-wide dates. And then we'll do another colloquia in May. Again, just touching base. How was your spring semester? Your goals still okay? We're now at year one. Will you be ready to present this time next year? So program completion, again, also attending minimum of 5 non-mandatory campus events. That's honor system. You pick the 5 that you want to do, and you typically talk about those things in your e-portfolio. And then you'll have an e-portfolio presentation that I'll be talking about later. So this introduction to instruction checklist, this is really the place where it's housed, is in this PD plan. So print your PD plan, put it somewhere in your office, and kind of check them off as you do those items. Questions on this document? Okay, the course participation that's located down here on the bottom. Oh, hang on a second, I need to tell you one more thing. When you have this completed, the first person you're going to turn it into is your mentor. It's a great opportunity to have the mentor-mentee meet again. And a lot of times if there's an issue with the goals, the mentor sees them right away because they've been to enough e-portfolio presentations at this point. They kind of know what most people have set as goals. Once they see it, then you send it to me. And then at the Owens campus, I send it to the assistant dean of instruction. It could be the dean of instruction at other campuses, I'm not quite sure. But typically it's CCIT who then sends it on to the Office of Instruction to be approved. And then they are formally approved, and that's what you're working from. Once that planning phase is done, you move into a participation phase. So again, here's your introduction to instruction here, but then you've got coursework. So you are required to take 8 credits of coursework for this program. So 2 classes are spelled out for you, IDT G10 and IDT G20. And IDT G10 is the one that is offered this fall in an 11-week format. IDT G20 is typically offered in the 7-week formats. I would recommend taking G10 first, unless you already know that you have to teach online. If you've been slated to teach an online class by spring, get G20 out of the way because you can't teach online unless you've taken IDT G20. And then after those 2 classes, or before them, there's no order that you have to take them in. Then you pick 2 other credits of your choosing that kind of meet the goals that you have. And you can view our course descriptions right from this page. So you can see the kinds of classes that we offer. I will say a lot of people like to do the e-portfolio design and development as one of those classes because it gets them ready for their presentation. But it's not required. Some people say, I'm good with creating a portfolio. That's not a problem, but I really want to take motivational teaching. Okay? So that's your participation phase. And once you have participated in the courses, you go on to your presentation phase. and you will create an e-portfolio that will be presented. And every campus does these presentations a little different. It's kind of just based upon what has worked well for those campuses in the past. And down here at Owens, it's always the day after graduation, and we do them sort of as a round table. It's a little less stressful, a little more relaxed, and faculty come through because it's a kind of the type of day where everyone's exhausted from the night before, and it's nice to get out of the office and walk around and see the e-portfolios. And really, sharing too much with you about this now, you're going to forget it by the time the second year rolls around. But just remember me telling you that everything you need to know is here. How to build the portfolio, what should go in, recommended software, really everything is there. There's even sample portfolios to look at. The biggest thing to remember is that that portfolio should be showing how you've met the goals that you set for yourself. So down here we went rogue a few years where it was like we weren't even really talking about the goals that we set. We just kind of talked about our background and what got us here. And that should still be part of your portfolio, but we need to make sure that you've really clearly explained how you met the goals that you set in NFD and how you met those goals. And that's when you would be talking about coursework and non-mandatory things that you attended and student interactions and things like that. Questions about that e-portfolio presentation?
If we go back to the courses, is it 4 courses? Because some of the courses are only worth 1 credit.
It depends on what courses you take.
So it's okay if we just do 4 courses, some of them could be 1 credit.
You got it.
Okay.
So the thing is 8 credits. So you could do 3-3-1-1. You could do 3-3-2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter as long as you have 8 credits at the end.
So it could be 3 courses then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good question. The other thing that I did want to touch about with the coursework, especially as some of you may say, oh, I think I might try and take one this semester. Registration instructions are located on this button here, and you really need to follow them like exactly as they are. So it automatically defaults to Delaware Tech employees, and as long as you follow these 11 steps, you'll be in. Because the catch is you're an employee that's registering for a class. So it's not quite the same as just applying to Del Tech and taking a class. So follow those 11 steps and the registrar will get you in. Any questions from the other campuses or here about the coursework? Okay. So come back to this page. So just coming back to this overview, you can always come back to the new faculty development page. You can look at NFD mentoring. You can go to the mentoring page and learn more. We really have spelled out the responsibilities of the mentor and the responsibilities of the mentee. If there's ever an issue with your mentor-mentee relationship, certainly please come to someone in CCIT or the Dean's office. We want you to be with somebody that will support you and help you through the 2 years of this program. So what questions do you have for me? That is like a very short, brief, just session overview of what you need to do over the next 2 years. Yes?
How long does it take to get a faculty mentor?
You already have one. So if your mentor, 3 of the mentors are in the room right now, and they'll be introducing themselves to you when we disconnect from the other campuses. If they weren't able to be here today, everybody who said they weren't able to be here today was sending an email to their mentee. So you already have one.
The classes, are they online? Or?
So IDT G10 and most of the courses are online with a couple of exceptions of things you need to do. So for example, IDT G10, we come and observe you. So right now, I'm not quite sure how that's going to work until we get some hires in, because we've always had somebody on each campus to do those observations. So let's suppose I'm teaching it this fall, and the Terry campus might have Kim observing, and she'll give me the rubric, and then that's how I enter the grade. But pretty much all of our courses are offered online. We offer some over the week in December. when there aren't classes. So you'll see those as options. We don't do as many of the spring break anymore, but we try and still do the December. Good questions. Stanton campus or George campus, what questions do you have for me?
Yeah, I have a question. Just you said that most of the classes are online. What's the pacing like? Is it all self-paced, or are there certain deadlines that?
That's a good question. It is not self-paced. There are deadlines each week, just like a graduate course, and it is 3 credits. So some of our courses, most of our courses used to always be 2 credits, and we were asked to really beef the program up a little bit, and so you will find that it is a true 3 credit course that you're taking. So just kind of plan accordingly with your work.
Thank you.
What other questions? So everybody understands where they need to go to fill out their goals and that they are due to me. I am going to stop sharing because I'm going to put my email address in the chat. Can everybody see the chat window? So that is my email address. Please have them to me by the 30th. So I think the thing that we find frustrating sometimes is that faculty get very busy and we tend to miss deadlines. I'm faculty, so I can say it. But yet we hold our students to a very different standard. So just remember to be gentle and kind with students who don't meet deadlines if you end up not meeting a deadline for me, and I'll be gentle and kind. So, and to answer your question about coursework, yes, there are firm deadlines, but I don't know anybody in CCIT who has not worked with a faculty member who, for whatever reason, couldn't get an assignment in on time, because we understand that you're taking the course while you're trying to teach and acclimate to the job as well. Any other questions? Nothing from Stanton? You good? Everything makes sense? Okay, I'm going to go ahead then and I'm going to end the meeting, which means George and Stanton and Jesse, you will be disconnected. And that'll give my folks a chance to meet their mentors should they be here. But if you have any questions, you know where to reach me. And I should probably do this because you can't see me, but now you can. So hi.
Is that Jesse Davis on the phone?
Yeah, Jesse Davis had a day off today.
He's my mentee.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if he can see us.
He, I think, is.
Oh, right.
Jesse, you can.
No, I can't see you. I'm just called in through my phone. I'm currently setting up for a concert tonight and not able to utilize a computer, so I just called in through the phone so I could hear everything going on.
Hey, Jesse, I'm going to be at Jim tomorrow night. Can you hook me up and meet him?
We're still waiting to hear if he's willing to meet anyone.
All right, remember that. If he is, you have my email and my phone.
All right, I hear you.
Remember, you want to get through new faculty development? No, I'm just kidding. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting, and then I have a chance to talk to the guys here. Bye.
Great.